Ghana Christian International High School, and we urge you all to subscribe to his Gov TV. Thank you.
Hello, lovely viewers. You're welcome to His Gov TV, and I'm your social studies teacher, Ms. Monatha from Ghana Christian International High School. With the previous topic, we started talking about social studies, and then we talked about the meaning of social studies, and then some of the areas of social studies. And I remember I gave you an assignment. I hope you did it. I hope you tried your hands on it. And were you able to do it? I'm sure you were able to do it. And don't forget to subscribe. It's very important to subscribe to His Gov TV. So our trial work was on the meaning of social studies, and then identify and explain 3 areas or fields of social studies. If you are now watching this video, you can go back and visit the previous topic where we talked about the meaning of social studies and the areas of social studies. You get all the answers from the previous slide or the previous presentation. So today we want to talk about the last subtopic under Introduction to Social Studies, which is reasons for studying social studies. Reasons for studying social studies. What do you think will be some of the reasons why we study social studies? That is what we are going to look at today. So let's look at our lesson objectives. By the end of the lesson, the people or students like you will be able to discuss the reasons for studying social studies as a subject. Why should we even study social studies in the first place? So that is what we are going to look at today. So let's move on to the main business for today. And then one reason why we study social studies is to make informed and reasoned decisions. Informed and reasoned decisions. So the primary purpose of social studies is to help young people make informed and reasoned decisions for the public good as citizens of a culturally diverse democratic society in an independent world. In the world that we find ourselves, there are so many things happening in the society. So when you study social studies, sometimes things that you don't know, you are taught, especially about the culture of people, the way of life of a group of people, how people do their things. So when you learn all these things, you are informed, and then you are able to make decisions that will help you be a good citizen in the society. And then with a culturally diverse, you don't only learn about your culture, but you also learn about other cultures as well. And then, with the world that we are in, like Ghana, it's a democratic society and an independent world. So when you are informed about what is happening in the society, you are able to make decisions that will help you improve in life. Let's move on to the next meaning. Then again, we are saying that social studies helps us in better reading and learning. It helps us in better reading and learning. Let's read and then we explain. Social studies is one area in education where content integration is key. Students are given reading material that corresponds with the current learning topics. Giving reading materials in context helps students become better readers. They also become better learners because they are asked to use analysis, critical thinking, and writing to show their understanding. Basically, social studies is a reading subject. Just when you get to the last part of social studies, think about the world of work. That is where you see calculation under catch book and all those things. Apart from that, all the topics or all the subtopics in it is reading. So the more you read, the more you build your vocabulary, the more you understand some terms, the more you are able to better your English. That is what this meaning is telling us. Let's move on to the next one. We are saying that students are exposed to cultures far beyond what they experience personally every day. But not every student has the opportunity to interact with other cultures on a daily basis. We need students to learn about, understand, and appreciate cultural differences if we expect them to have meaningful interactions with people of all backgrounds in the future. So, one other reason why we study social studies is to have an understanding about other people's culture. It's not only about your culture, but others as well, so that you can also appreciate the culture of others and not judge them based on their culture. You are able to also tolerate people's views and know what is happening in other world around you, or even in Ghana, where we have diverse culture. So the way of life, the way people eat in a society, the way some people dress, we try to appreciate them when you learn social studies. Let's go to the next one. We are talking about economic education. Remember yesterday or the previous um, meeting, we talked about economics as a field of social studies, where we said basically economics is about how to manage your world or household management. We talked about it when you visit the previous slide, you know there. So we are saying that it's a crucial part of social studies, whether studied on its own or as a part of history, anthropology, or political science. So, by learning economics, young people understand how their financial decisions have an impact on their future as well as the future of the society. When you study a topic like the youth and national development, there is a subtopic in it that talks about how you can manage your finances or how to save money, where we are taught about you saving your money at maybe in the susu box or at the bank or credit union and all those things. That will help you establish your future, because by so doing you understand um, your how your finances how to take financial decisions, and then you also have an impact on your future as well as the future of your society. So you not grow up and then at the end you have no money on you. When you learn social studies, it teaches you about economics. Let's move on to the next one. We can also talk about critical thinking. Critical thinking. When we say critical thinking, it is the application of logical principles, standards of evidence, and careful reasoning to the analysis and discussion. What it means is that when you learn social studies, students are taught to evaluate others' decisions and make connections between influences and circumstances. Young people get the opportunity to learn from others' mistakes through social sciences or social studies. We learn from others' mistakes. That is what is telling us. And when we talk about critical thinking, you don't just sit up and then make a decision. You think about whatever you are going to say critically. You analyze, you evaluate, and bring out the right thing after studying social studies. So you can talk about this topic under social studies, where it talks about you building peace with someone, peace building and conflict resolution. You are taught about the methods with which you can build peace in a society, where we talk about negotiation, mediation, justice and fairness, and all those things. So we are saying that when you learn about social studies, you are able to think critically. You evaluate issues before you make decisions, so that it will help you be a responsible person in the society. So that is that about critical thinking. We can also talk about real world understanding as a reason why we study social studies. So studying social sciences or social studies gives students an understanding of the real world around them. Students learn about places, cultures, and events around the world, what conspired to make them the way they are, and can make inferences about how the rest of the world works. let's try and explain. You've heard of Abuachiri Festival. When you study festivals in social studies, you are told that the people of Biniba celebrate Abuachiri Festival. You just don't learn it from the book. You try as much as possible to go and experience it, especially to see if indeed Abuachiri Festival is taking place at a particular time. When you go to our culture and national identity, we also talk about marriage rights over there. We also talk about naming ceremonies, maybe among the accounts, among not only among the accounts, we can also talk about marriage rights among the Muslims and all those things. So we are saying that it is real world experiences that has been written in books, so that we can also have an idea about how it is. So when you go somewhere and it is done, it will not be something new to you, because you've already learned in a book and then you've seen it happening somewhere. Let's move on. Okay, the next reason why we study social studies is to know our responsibilities and values. Let me ask this question: how can we expect young people to contribute positively to society, engage in discourse, and then thrive in a democratic society if they are not exposed to the topics and aspects of history and life that made society the way it is? We need to ask ourselves this question. We are saying that if we want the youth to contribute positively to the society, at least they should know the background of where something started from, especially democracy, where democracy started from, how we got our independence. When we talk about even naming ceremony, where it started from, marriage rights, where it started from, the need for us to perform maybe funeral rites when somebody dies or something of that sort. So when the youth are informed about all these things, they are able to make wise decisions. And also about our responsibilities and rights. We learn in our constitution, democracy and nation building. And when you get to the constitution part, you get to know your rights and then your responsibilities as well. When you get to rights and responsibilities of the individual as a topic in social studies also, you are taught about, you go into detail about your fundamental human rights and other responsibilities as well. So when we are informed about all these things, we understand why it is important, and we are able to grow up to become good citizens of the society. So here ends our lesson on the importance of studying social studies. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. So let's give a summary of whatever we learned today. So in today's lesson, we learned about some of the reasons for studying social studies. I hope you had a nice interaction with me, and then see you next time. And don't forget to subscribe to HisGov TV. The next time we meet, we will talk about self-identity. And before I leave you, this is your assignment. Identify and explain 4 reasons why we need to study social studies. So till we meet again, it's bye.